Hello guys, welcome to another video, and this one we're going to be talking about the new Rage rework, taking a look at exactly how it works, how you can scale it, and how it stacks up against the old Rage system. Let's go. So let's begin by taking a look at the mechanics of the reworked Rage. Rage will now grant 1% more attack damage per stack of Rage, with a base maximum cap of 30 Rage that can be gained. So at the base maximum of 30 Rage, you'll have 30% more attack damage. You'll lose 10 Rage per second if you haven't been hit in the past 2 seconds, or if you haven't gained Rage in the past 2 seconds. The goal of this change was to make Rage more accessible for a wider variety of builds and to stop the mechanic being so specific in terms of weapon types or ascendancies. Okay, let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of the reworked Rage against the old system. Previously, Rage had a base maximum of 50 and it provided different stats. 1% increased attack damage, 0.5% increased attack speed, and 0.2% increased movement speed per Rage. So at 50 Rage in the old system, you'd have 50% increased attack damage, 25% increased attack speed, and 10% increased movement speed. The old system of Rage also had slower Rage loss, at 1 Rage lost per half second after not being hit or gaining Rage in the past 4 seconds. Now, it's impossible to make a fair comparison between the two systems because every build has access to varied levels of increased damage and attack speed stats. But there is a very important point to be made about the reworked Rage system and melee in general in 3.25. And that's that attack speed has suddenly become a much more valuable stat as a result of not only this change here, which removed a minimum of 25% increased attack speed from builds that were already using Rage, but also that GGG are removing Ancestral Totems in 3.25 as well, which means the 20% more attack speed multiplier from the Ancestral Protector buff, which would usually provide 30% more instead due to Panopticon, is also gone. So, on average, a build that was using just Ancestral Protector without Panopticon will be losing 16% of their total attack speed from 3.24 to 3.25. A build which was using Ancestral Protector with Panopticon will be losing 23% of their total attack speed from 3.24 to 3.25. And a build that was using Ancestral Protector with Panopticon and had 50 Rage will be losing in the region of 35% of their total attack speed from 3.24 to 3.25. But this is not the full story, because in 3.25 GGG are massively improving the attack damage scaling of the majority of melee attack skills, which will ultimately lead to a typical melee build dealing more damage on a per hit basis, but with a slower hit rate. The Rage and Ancestral Totem changes aren't the only things that are contributing to this playstyle shift, because a lot of the Rage-specific mechanics are also changing as a result. The Berserk skill is being heavily nerfed. Previously at level 20, this skill provided 20% more damage with attacks, 20% more attack speed, 30% more movement speed, and 19% less damage taken while active. In 3.25, Berserk will now only provide a single modifier, 59% increased Rage effect at level 20. At a baseline, that would provide 17% more attack damage if you had the base maximum of 30 Rage. That's a lot less than what you gained from the previous Berserk, but notice that the new Berserk grants Rage effect, which is a seemingly rare new stat which is actually quite powerful because you can scale your base Rage not only in terms of how much maximum Rage one can obtain, but also the stats which Rage provides. Let's look at the new Berserker Ascendancy. Crave the Slaughter will now provide the modifier, every Rage also grants 1% increased attack speed. This is the same terminology to describe the base stat that Rage provides, so increases to Rage effect will also scale this attack speed increase. For example, a Berserker with Crave the Slaughter, which has 30 Rage, will have 30% more attack damage and 30% increased attack speed. If they activate a level 20 Berserk, with 30 rage they'd now have 47% more attack damage and 47% increased attack speed. And this is improved even further by the Berserker's Rite of Ruin Ascendancy notable, which now provides 50% increased rage effect. A Berserker with Crave the Slaughter, Rite of Ruin, 30 rage and Berserk active will have 62% more attack damage and 62% increased attack speed. It's important to remember here that even though this is still a considerably lower amount of attack speed than the previous Berserker would have had with this combination of mechanics in the old system, which is inclusive of Ancestral Protector, in 3.25, as mentioned earlier, attack speed is going to be a much more sought after stat, which makes this particular boost to attack speed on Crave the Slaughter very valuable. But the rage scaling doesn't end there, because you can of course invest further into rage in other ways. GGG have added many new rage wheels on the passive skill tree, a lot of which provide easier access to gaining rage on hit, but some also scale maximum rage, such as the Battle Trance wheel located at the Resolute Technique keystone, which provides plus 10 to maximum rage, and there's also a Rage Mastery for plus 7 to maximum rage, but be aware that this one also causes rage to drain faster during rage loss. Meanwhile, the Berserking wheel near the Constitution life cluster in the middle of the passive skill tree provides plus 5 to maximum rage, and you can also gain maximum rage in smaller increments from small passive skills on the tree which make up the other rage clusters. The Veteran's Wrath wheel located at the Blood Magic keystone provides a total of plus 6 maximum rage, split across 2 plus 3 small nodes, while the Vengeance wheel, located near the new location for the Versatile Combatant keystone, also provides plus 2 to maximum rage on one of its small nodes. And the Vengeance notable itself on this wheel provides every rage also grants 1% increased armour, which, just like the attack speed stat on Berserker, will scale with any increases to rage effect that you're able to acquire. In total, there's plus 30 to maximum rage which can be picked up on the passive skill tree, which would double the base maximum rage from 30 up to 60, providing 60% more attack damage while at that new maximum cap with no other increases to rage effect. In general, maximum rage as a stat obtainable from gear was made to be much scarcer. For example, the Bear's Girdle unique belt now provides plus 10 to maximum rage instead of plus 20, while the Heist base type one-handed axes, which previously provided maximum rage, no longer do so and instead provide rage on melee hit implicits. Lastly, I will mention that the stat provided by rage, more attack damage, does not scale ailments inflicted with attacks, so it won't scale things like bleeding, ignite or poison, which I thought might be an important thing to mention in this video considering we're also getting a Gladiator rework in this patch. Overall, the myriad of melee changes in patch 3.25 will shift the playstyle of melee in general to one which is typically slower in terms of attack speed, but harder hitting when those hits actually land. Thanks for watching this video, and thank you for your ongoing support. As always, stay tuned and stay safe.